I'm so happy to have her in my life and as a friend.
Just to know that she was even in the process of changing her life around makes me happy.
Right didn't mean no harm to nobody.
Amaya has always been a beautiful soul full of love, laughter, friendship, a passion for animals, and a fierce love of her family. We know how to make sure anyone else around us is having a good time. Today we mourn, but we also remember, because love never dies. There are no words to describe the devastation that we are experiencing by the killing of our beloved Amaya.
The young woman you see here, laughing and enjoying every moment, was 25-year-old Amaya Cunningham. Bright, spirited, the kind of energy that made people stop and smile. No one would have expected what happened on April 26, 2025. Amaya would be run over by the same car just seconds after she got out. At around 11:44 p.m., police would respond to a 911 call at an intersection at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. When they arrived at the scene, what they found was chilling. A female lying on the pavement. She had not only been hit, but it was clear the vehicle had climbed over her unconscious body before leaving the scene. What was even more horrifying was what was caught on a security camera. The 25-year-old woman was run over by friends while she was twerking on the street. What no one could have predicted was what happened next. This is the life and death of Amaya Cunningham.
To act like you ain't see her in front of the car dancing is wild. Listen, these friend groups are getting so weird nowadays, it needs to be studied.
Skinny, and what about it? What was said? Skinny. But I'm pressure hoe get into it.
Amaya Cunningham was born on April 26, 2000 in Georgia, the oldest of several siblings. From a young age, she was known for her infectious energy and magnetic personality, qualities that made her unforgettable to everyone she met. Her family described her as the life of every party, with a natural charisma that drew people in. Amaya loved animals, adored her family, and was always ready to embrace life to the fullest. Growing up, she had a passion for dancing, which she shared with the world through her social media presence. Whether at a party, a gathering, or just out and about, Amaya couldn't resist moving to the beat of the music. Her love for dancing was a key part of who she was, and as a social media influencer, she captivated her followers with every post, giving them a glimpse into her vibrant life. Sadly, it would be during one of her dancing moments that Amaya's life would be tragically cut short. As the oldest sibling, Amaya took pride in her role as a big sister, always fiercely loyal and protective of her family. From school days to her early adult years, Amaya was a bright spot in her community. She had an infectious sense of humor, a quick wit, and a knack for lifting the spirits of those around her. Friends remembered her as the life of the party, someone who never turned down a chance to laugh or enjoy the moment. Her family was her anchor, and they cherished her lighthearted nature and deep loyalty. Amaya had dreams like any young woman in her 20s, plans for the future, hopes for love, and a determination to create a life she could be proud of. She surrounded herself with friends, music, and the joy of living in the present. But not all friendships were what they seemed. Little did Amaya know, some of the people she trusted the most were harboring something darker beneath the surface. Amaya was no stranger to nights out in the city. Atlanta, with its pulsing nightlife and endless energy, often served as the backdrop for her social circle. She worked hard and played hard, balancing her responsibilities with a love of dancing, laughing, and being around people. But her loyalty and easy trust would one day put her in the path of betrayal she never saw coming. On the night of April 26, 2025, Amaya and a group of friends were preparing for a night out in Atlanta. She was out to celebrate her younger sister's prom and her aunt's birthday. To top it off, she had recently made plans to enroll in beauty school and was looking forward to a fresh start. The plan was to head to King of Diamonds, a popular nightclub, but first they met at someone's house to pregame. Music was playing, drinks were poured, and for a while the mood seemed lighthearted. It started innocently enough. Amaya met up with 2 male friends and 3 female friends: Alexandria, a woman she had known for years, Mickey, another woman in the group, and Deja, her neighbor from middle school. To anyone else, it might have looked like a tight-knit crew, but appearances can be deceiving. During the pregame, an issue arose between Amaya and Alexandria, which began to cause tension. It wasn't an out-out argument, but there was tension, enough that it shifted the atmosphere. However, the night continued. When it came time to leave for the night, the group split into 3 cars: a red truck, a black SUV, and a silver car. The 2 male friends were in the red truck, Alexandria in the second vehicle, the black SUV. Then Amaya, Mickey, and Deja were in the silver vehicle. The plan was simple: head to the club and have fun. But as the cars began the journey, something inside Amaya began to stir. It was only after she buckled her seatbelt that she sent a telling message to one of her male friends in the red truck, who goes by the name T, saying she felt like the vibe in the car was off. She wrote that she should have ridden with him instead. Her intuition was sounding alarms, warning her that the night's energy had taken a turn for the worse. But by the time those words left her phone, the chain of events was already in motion. As they were on their way, the 2 male friends realized they had missed an exit, but Amaya texted them telling them they were right behind them. But at this time, Amaya's vehicle and the black SUV had reached a traffic stop at an intersection at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. Surveillance footage later showed Amaya stepping out of the silver car and coming in front of Alexandria's black SUV and started twerking. For a moment, it looked like harmless fun, the kind of spontaneous move her friends would expect from her. But then, the black SUV suddenly lurched forward. According to video evidence and witness accounts, Alexandria accelerated, hitting Amaya with brutal force and dragging her several feet before her body hit the pavement. In the chilling footage, her body collapses to the ground as the car continues past her without slowing. The driver, Alexandria, kept going, leaving Amaya lying in the roadway. First responders from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office arrived on the scene and quickly administered life-saving aid, but nothing much could be done. Amaya was quickly transported to Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, but despite several efforts, she would pass away from her injuries shortly after arrival. However, the most shocking revelation came moments later. At first, police reports suggested there was no foul play, claiming Amaya was simply a pedestrian struck by a vehicle. But then, the video footage would soon tell a far more sinister story. What Alexandria didn't realize at the time was that there was a camera at the intersection that captured everything. This was no accident. Reports later revealed that the tension between Amaya and Alexandria that night was more than just a passing disagreement. The two had a history, and whatever it was had boiled to the surface and ended in an act of violence so deliberate. The shock and outrage spread quickly. Amaya's friends and family were left reeling in disbelief. Her friends, who had known Amaya for years, couldn't fathom what had just happened. They described Amaya as always being full of life, a girl who loved to dance and party, and who was constantly the center of attention, lifting the spirits of everyone around her. But the question remained, why did Alexandria do this? In the aftermath of the incident, Amaya's friends Mickey and Deja tried to distance themselves from the truth. When Forest Park police arrived, they lied about the situation, claiming Amaya was a random pedestrian who had been struck by a car. But this lie would unravel quickly. As social media and public outcry intensified, more people started sharing Amaya's story online, public pressure mounted, and it wasn't long before the truth came to light. The street cam footage showing Amia's final moments went viral, and the investigation took a dramatic turn. The initial police report had suggested no foul play, but as evidence mounted, it became clear this was no accident. Alexandria had intentionally run Amia over. The next few weeks were filled with tension. The police continued to investigate, but the justice system appeared slow to act. For weeks, the police had dismissed it as a simple accident, but the public outcry, driven by social media's relentless pressure, forced them to reevaluate their stance. And eventually, they started to uncover more details that painted a much darker picture.
Well, new tonight at 11, calls for justice are growing after a Metro Atlanta 25-year-old woman's 10 days ago.
So it was all captured on video, leading people to share her story all across the internet.
This is Amaya Cunningham. She was with friends on April 26 before she was run over just before midnight. Forest Park police are investigating her, but no arrests have been made. 11
Alive's Angelina Salcido is live right now at the Forest Park Police Department tonight. So Angelina, investigators say no foul play or negligence is at play here, but you actually spoke with her family, who says that is not the case.
Yeah, and that is because her friends are saying that the driver of this car actually knew Amaya and allegedly left this scene for a few hours before then coming back. Now, her family too devastated to speak publicly after this happened and after losing someone that is just so vibrant. But people are speaking out about this and sharing it, hoping that this leads to justice for a 25-year-old that was taken too soon.
The 25-year-old after getting hit by a car at 11:44 at night on April 26. Friends who were with her that night say the group she was with pre-gamed at someone's house before they decided to go out. An issue between her and another girl happened before they all left in 3 separate cars. That car with her friend missed the exit, leaving Amaya in a car with 2 other girls and the girl she had an issue with in the black car ahead of them.
This is the intersection where both of the cars ended up here at Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. Amaya got out of the car and started dancing in front of that car. This was all caught on camera here on the GDOT cameras. Now, Forest Park Police did put out a statement right after this happened about what happened that night. I'm told that it was taken down out of respect for the family, but the investigation into what happened that night is still ongoing. Now, we will continue to check in to see if any arrests are being made in this case, and we, of course, will continue following up with Amaya's family as well. We're live tonight in Forest Park. Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive.
Forest Park Police, who had initially claimed there was no foul play, now had a new approach. They had to dig deeper, questioning witnesses, reviewing the footage, and tracing the timeline of events that led to Amia's untimely death. But there was one problem. No one could find the weapon. In this case, the weapon was a vehicle, and although it was clear that Alexandria Larkin's actions were deliberate, the investigation was still complex. Meanwhile, across town, the community rallied around Amaya's family, demanding justice. Social media exploded with messages of support, with many calling for Alexandria's arrest and charging her with murder. The pressure was undeniable. The public wanted answers, and the family too had been waiting for weeks to see the justice they knew Amaya deserved. Amaya's family pushed for justice, frustrated by the lack of urgency in the case. It wasn't until social media's persistent pressure that the authorities finally took action. On May 16, 2025, after weeks of delays, an arrest warrant was finally issued. 29-year-old Alexandria Larkin was arrested and charged with homicide by vehicle in the first degree and leaving the scene of an accident. Amaya's family was relieved, but the pain of their loss remained. They had to lay their beloved daughter, sister, and friend to rest, knowing her life was stolen by someone who should have cared for her. Meanwhile, Alexandria's behavior was being scrutinized even further. She had fled the scene after running over Amaya, and 2 hours later, she returned with her husband, acting as if nothing had happened. Her actions were not just suspicious, but pointed to a calculated decision to evade responsibility. The investigation revealed Alexandria's connection to Amaya, and it painted a picture of betrayal and jealousy. Alexandria and Amaya had issues that night, and those feelings of animosity seemed to have boiled over into something far more sinister. But why was she so willing to harm someone she once considered a friend? The motivations remained unclear until they found a shocking revelation. It turned out that Alexandria Larkin had a history of questionable behavior, which only made her actions that night more troubling. In fact, this was not the first time she had displayed violent tendencies. Amaya's family was left questioning if this had been a long time coming. A tragic and avoidable outcome had Alexandria's earlier behavior been properly addressed. Amaya's family, devastated by their loss, was left grappling with how to move forward. Despite the emotional weight, they found strength in each other. They made it clear that Amaya's memory would live on. In the midst of their grief, her mother, Kira Cunningham, set up a GoFundMe to cover legal fees and funeral costs, a testament to their resolve in ensuring justice would be served for Amaya. A vigil was held in Cliftondale Park, South Fulton. Loved ones dressed in green lit candles and released balloons in her honor.
A young woman in Forest Park during a night out with friends, and now her grieving family is standing strong in her name.
Now, we first told you about the 25-year-old Amaya Cunningham story last night on 11 Alive News at 11, and tonight we're learning she died on her aunt's birthday. And this is a story you're only going to see on 11 Alive. We're hearing from her family for the very first time.
11 Alive's Angelina Salcido is live at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road, where the accident happened about 11 days ago. Angelina, her family is now planning a vigil, unfortunately, to honor her life, something they didn't expect to have to do.
Yeah, and her friends actually organized this vigil, you guys. Now, we went to this vigil, and standing with her family and her friends, you can feel the heartbreak that everybody is feeling after going through this. Now, the night that Amaya went out, it was full of fun. It was supposed to be full of fun. It was her little sister's prom. It was her aunt's birthday. It was the start of a new beginning for Amaya as she was supposed to start beauty school. All of that cut short right behind me, and you can just feel the heartbreak from her family, and now they're trying to make sure that her life was not taken in vain.
There are no words to describe the devastation that we are experiencing by the of our beloved Amaya.
She was the brightest light in their first love.
Amaya has always been a beautiful soul full of love, laughter, friendship, a passion for animals, and a fierce love of her family.
The 25-year-old, the oldest of 7 siblings, her spirit just like anyone in her family.
We know how to make sure anyone else around us is having a good time. That's exactly what she was doing on Saturday, April 26th.
Cunningham was going out with friends when she was hit by a car at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. Forest Park police are still investigating, but no arrests have been made.
Maya's will not be in vain. Our family will see to it that Maya gets the justice that she deserves.
Today, her family and friends honor Amaya's life.
I'm so happy to have her in my life and as a friend.
Just to know that she was even in the process of changing her life around makes me happy.
Maya didn't mean no harm to nobody.
We gonna live for Maya.
Despite their tears, this family holds each other.
Today we mourn, but we also remember, because love never dies.
Maya's light won't either.
Now, this family is planning Maya's funeral and planning to lay her to rest within the next few days. They are fundraising for her homegoing and for any potential legal fees that they may have to incur moving forward. If you'd like to help, we have a link in this story right now on our website. We're live tonight in Forest Park. Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
Angelina, such a difficult story and a difficult situation for that family. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, Alexandria Larkin appeared in Clayton County Court on May 17th, facing her first hearing. Right at that moment, the legal battle began. Alexandria's lawyers attempted to get her released on bond, arguing that she was a mother who needed to care for her child, but the judge was firm. She was denied bond. Alexandria was taken to Clayton County Jail, where she would remain until her next hearing. However, the truth of Alexandria's actions would not be silenced. A disturbing fact about her life surfaced. On the same night she ran Amaya over, she was celebrating her 2-year wedding anniversary with her husband. Yet instead of spending that time with him, Alexandria chose to hang out with other men and women, ultimately leading to Amaya's death. Right at that moment, the truth about Alexandria's priorities became clear. Her relationship, her role as a mother, and her sense of responsibility seemed secondary to her reckless actions that night. Despite Alexandria's public and private life unraveling in the media, Amaya's family and the community remained focused on their pursuit of justice. And then a new layer of betrayal was revealed. Amaya's so-called friends, Mickey and Deja, who had been with her that night, were also implicated. They had lied to the police, claiming they didn't know who had run over Amaya. They protected Alexandria, refusing to tell the truth about what had happened. And ever since then, suspicions about Mickey and Deja have only grown. But the most important question remains, did they play a role in Amaya's death, directly or indirectly? If so, they too must face the consequences of their actions. But justice would not come easily, and the battle was far from over. The road ahead would be long, filled with court hearings, continued public scrutiny, and the family's ongoing fight for accountability. Yet they remained steadfast. For Amaya, they would continue to demand justice. What had started as a fun night out with friends quickly spiraled into something much darker, revealing the destructive nature of unchecked jealousy and selfishness. And eventually, the true extent of the betrayal by those closest to Amaya would be uncovered as her friends and loved ones continued to fight for her legacy. I hope that Amaya gets the justice she truly deserves, and that those responsible for her untimely death are held accountable for their actions. Her life was cut short far too soon, and no one should have to endure such betrayal and violence. My deepest condolences to Amaya's family, friends, and loved ones. May you find strength and peace in the memories of her radiant spirit, and may she rest in peace. You are in my thoughts during this incredibly difficult time. What do you think about it? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.